everybody, this is Risa from Hudson Valley Vintage. I'm here to talk about hemp oil with my husband Kevin. He's behind the camera. We are talking about all natural hemp oil from Fusion Mineral Paint and Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint. Homestead House is the parent company of both Fusion Mineral Paint and Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint, and they make this phenomenal product called hemp oil. See, there's one of each. Now, you're probably thinking they don't look like the same product because the Fusion looks much darker than the Miss Mustard Seeds. But guess what? I'm going to show you one more thing. Here's another one. They're all different colors. Can you see that? Can you explain to us, honey, why the three different hemp oils could look so different?
Well, they're cold pressed, and each season it's kind of like, you know, apples grow a little differently, corn grows a little differently, and this is the same thing.
So that just shows you how natural this product is. It's made from 100% hemp plants, and like Kevin just said, each season
depends on the weather. You know, weather,
Right.
rain. It's kind of, you know, if you did small batches of olive oil, it would be the same
crop,
thing.
that's the word.
Yep.
The hemp crop could look different depending on the season. So these are just from different seasons. That's really why they look different. And this bottle is pretty beat up because we use quite a bit of it. We have a big gallon size in the back, and I just keep refilling it. So we're gonna talk about the magic of hemp oil. Hemp is, as I said, it's all natural. There's no solvents, no chemicals, nothing. It's natural hemp, and it is food safe. So what does that mean, that it's food safe? Basically what it means is you can use it on a cutting board. You could use it on a wooden plate, like a charger. You could use it on anything that food is gonna go on, and it is completely safe. And I'm gonna show you a couple of the different uses for it. So this is an old antique paper holder. So you can imagine if you were in an old general store, they might have one of these on the counter.
Butcher store, butcher shop.
Butcher paper or something like that. And as you can see, it is super dry. It's not dirty. It kind of looks like it is, but it's not. It's just the wood is really dried out. We've cleaned this with TSP, and we're not going to paint it, but I am going to give it a little new life with hemp oil. So this is my hemp oil, and I use a chip brush. I recommend using natural bristles with hemp oil, really with any oil. Unlike painting, which we use synthetic bristles, we use natural bristles for oil. And this is just a crappy old chip brush. How much would have this cost? A couple cents? I mean,
yeah, you buy a big box.
Yeah. And what we actually do at the store at Hudson Valley Vintage is we write hemp on these because
don't use it in paint.
we don't want to use this in paint, and we don't want to even put them in the same jar for cleaning or anything like that. We want to keep them completely separate. So if you're going to start using hemp oil at home, it's a good idea to mark your brush. You could also use a rag to apply it, or a sponge brush, but we use natural bristles.
We still clean them when we're finished, but then we hang them and they dry, and they
Right.
stay, you know, they stay, you can tell they're still oiled.
Yeah. So I don't know if Kevin can get close up on this, but look how it instantly brings new life to this dried up wood. It's really instant. And there is no special trick to this. I am just brushing it on. That's it.
Mia's here. She's not helping. I'm just going to show. See the paint on her ear? She was helping last weekend. Look at that. Isn't it? She works really hard.
She does. She does. So I'm going to put that aside for a couple minutes. And I'm going to show you something else that we can do with hemp oil. And that is to do what's called a wet sanding. So this is a piece of wood that I painted actually quite a while ago. I painted this in, I believe I painted it in Seaside by Fusion Mineral Paint. It might look a little different because I was practicing some blending techniques on this board. So if you think it looks more like Homestead Blue or something else, it's probably that is the reason. This is just a piece of pine. And if you've used Fusion Mineral Paint before, you know that it is pretty smooth. But even when you first paint it, it's pretty smooth when it dries. But I like it really smooth. I like my pieces of furniture to be just incredibly smooth, like ice. So what I generally do is I take a piece of 220 grit sandpaper. Now sandpaper, the number on the sandpaper indicates how gritty it is. The higher the number, the finer the sandpaper. So this is a 220, which is pretty fine. So I'm going to use that on here. Now rather than just sanding it like this, I'm going to use the hemp oil to help me. Because often, especially if you're sanding a darker color, you can get some scuff marks. Using the hemp oil is going to eliminate that, but it's also going to make it even smoother. So I'm going to take the same brush and I'm just going to apply some hemp oil over the paint. And again, I'm not doing it in any special way. You could do this with a rag if you don't have a brush. I would recommend using something lint-free. I did not put on much. Then I'm going to take my 220 grit sandpaper and I'm going to just sand it. I'm doing it pretty lightly. The other thing about hemp oil that's so great about using it over paint is it gives you some extra protection. Now Fusion has a built-in top coat, as I'm sure you guys know, but sometimes you want a little bit of extra protection, so why not get that? It will also give you that shine. Fusion is not a glossy paint, so it gives you sort of some people call it a satiny finish. It's not chalky. It's definitely not chalky. It's got a much nicer finish than chalk-based paints, but it's definitely not glossy. So if you want a little bit more of a glossier look, the hemp oil is great for that. So I just painted this side. Oops, sorry, Mia. So I just did this side with the hemp oil. Mm-hmm. And then, although I didn't sand it yet, let me do that. Sorry. I'm getting all excited. I'm getting ahead of myself. So look at that side, how beautiful that looks. Doesn't that look great? Mm-hmm. And then look at this side. So it's still nice, but you know, you don't have that finished, that beautiful shiny look. So if you want more of a gloss look,
that took 5 seconds.
Over Fusion, the hemp oil is the way to go. And exactly, it took 5 seconds. So now what I've done is I've given it a nice shiny finish. Plus, because I gave it that super light sanding over the hemp oil, this is a smooth, it's like butter. It really is. I know it's hard to get that across, but it's like butter.
Feel that? Feel that?
Do you feel it, guys? You feel it? Okay. Well, let me just finish this side since I'm... So that was the Fusion. Due to the magic of preparing, I've also got something painted in Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint. So This is, now milk paint, unlike Fusion, when it dries, because we're mixing a powder with water, it's a little bit gritty. It's definitely not.
You can hear it.
So smooth. Yeah, you can hear it. You can actually hear it. So I'm putting a little bit of the hemp oil on my brush. Again, not a lot. I'm gonna brush it on. And it is so completely smooth. And look how beautiful it looks. It also seals it, which is great. Now, Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint does not have a built-in top coat like Fusion does. So you do want to seal it with something. And the hemp oil is a great way to go. And it's super fast. I mean, that's a heck of a lot easier than waxing, wouldn't you say? So here's that side, and there's that side. So you can see, I think you can see, especially like up here, you can see the grittiness that's still left from the milk paint. And then if I flip it over, I mean, you could hear it as my finger goes across it, how much smoother it is. It's really pretty great. I'll do this side now. So look at that, how that distressed it a little bit. Isn't that fun? Right there too. See all that? Nice. So look at this. What I would normally do with a piece like this that's so dry is I would apply my hemp oil like we did before, and I would just leave it. I would probably walk away for an hour or more. I've even done it with pieces like this overnight. I've just left it. And then when you come back to it, you're gonna take your lint-free cloth, shop towel is fine, and you're just gonna wipe it back. Look at that. Look at that wood, how beautiful that looks. I mean, that just took no time. And that's pretty much it. You can also use hemp oil to seal chalk-based paints. So really any
porous,
any porous chalk-based paints, milk-based paints, milk paint, they're porous because they don't have a built-in top coat the way that Fusion does. So you can use the hemp oil to seal it. So if you're tired of using furniture wax and doing all that buffing, you see how easy that is. So that's pretty much it, I think. That's our little presentation on hemp oil. So as I said, it comes from Fusion Mineral Paint. This is a 500 milliliter size. It also comes from Miss Mustard Seed's Milk Paint. This is a 250 milliliter size. It lasts a long time. I actually poured way too much in here, so I'll probably put that back in the bottle. I don't know what I was thinking. We carry both of them, and if you really love hemp oil and you want even more, we can get you a gallon size. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, if you see this later, just go back and post the questions in the comments and we will go back and answer them for you. if you think a friend of yours might get something out of this, feel free to share it. That would be great. We'd appreciate it. And we will be back soon.